Good afternoon to one and all. I, Dr. Dhwani Kesota, would like to welcome you all on the behalf of Cultural Committee for the event of Women's Day. Since we are speaking on the event of Women's Day, let's talk about reality. Should we get a reality check? Can everyone in the audience at least be honest to raise their hands and ask yourself that how many of you have questioned yourself every day and even today before coming to this event regarding anything and everything? Be it your looks, be it the way you present yourself to the society, be it your social responsibility, be it your family burdens, questioning your own values, becoming better for your own self and for the society, and helping everyone grow along with you. How many of you question yourselves every day that what is right or wrong with you? Do you do that? Oh, come on, I need an answer here. Yeah, thanks. So for that, I would like to just tell you, consider yourself that you are looking yourself into the mirror and just listen. I would like to wait for my fellow women colleagues so that they can also do the exercise with me. So I just want you all to consider that you are looking yourself into the mirror and just listen to what I am saying. You may write me down in the history. With your bitter twisted lies, you may trot me in the very dirt. But still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head down and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the hurt of history's shame, I rise. Up from the past that's rooted in the pain, I rise. I am a black ocean, leaping and wide. Welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. So my dear women, before you start your day, every day, please say this to yourself. Remind yourself of your own capabilities. Believe in yourself and you'll rise. It is rightly said that you cannot spell hero without the word her. And we have one such hero among us, that's Dr. Savita Tauro. I would like to invite Dr. Sunita Nikum ma'am, HOD of Psychiatry Department, to please introduce her.
Today we are celebrating World Women's Day. I hope you all know the purpose of this particular day, why we celebrate. We celebrate day because we want to either felicitate the woman who has succeed in her social, academic and the house front. The lady who has done a commendable job in achieving all the hurdles in the life and has come up and stood for herself in the society. For this particular function, what we thought, none other than the Dr. Savita Tauro will be the right person to chair this occasion to us, and she is with us. Dr. Tauro has done her basic education till PhD in Mumbai. She has working currently as a principal of St. John Pharmacy College, what we generally seen while traveling to and fro. So she is the principal over there. Madam has been working here since so many years. She already has completed her international presentations, and she has published a few articles also. She had worked in the research department, in the research field of chemistry, and there she has worked for the marketing and other chemistry related thing. Madam's biodata is endless. I cannot read everything you can read in the screen, but definitely that is the whatever I will be saying is a very few for her, because she is the right person for us to guide us and give us a few words of wisdom on this occasion.
I would request Dr. Bipin Jain sir to please felicitate Tauro ma'am. I would like to request all the dignitaries present on the dais to please carry forward for the light lamping occasion.
Yes. Sunita. Come on. Dr. Nikhil.
Tejashri.
Nikita, come.
Tejasvi.
Nikita, Tejashri.
I would now request Dr. Sunita Tauro to please grace the event. Dr. Savita Tauro, sorry, my bad. To grace the event with her speech.
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Dr. Bipin Jain, Dr. Patel, Dr. Sharma, Dr. Savita, and all the other doctors present here. Thank you very much for inviting me for this program. And I think I am privileged to be addressing a very, very impressive audience, because I think you are all of you in the professional, medical profession, and doing the kind of service that you do, which is absolutely commendable. And I should say that, especially in the last 2 years, the kind of battle that we have been fighting with an unseen enemy, it is only because of your dedicated efforts and the seamless, untiring efforts that you have put in. People like us today can breathe and be really comfortable. So first of all, my salutation and gratitude to all of you for all the wonderful work that you have been doing. Thank you for that. When I just came in and I asked sir about what should I really be speaking on, because all of you are qualified and I'm sure you understand the theme that is mentioned there, gender equality for a sustainable future or a sustainable tomorrow. Gender equality is something which all of us are very well aware about. We've been hearing about it right from school days, and in those times it was what we really thought about was whether girls and boys are equal or not, men and women are equal or not. But I think a time has come when today for us, all of us are professionals here, gender equality is not about equating male and female or equating men, women or equating girls and boys. It is about giving equal opportunity to every person who is there. The world is there for all, and I think it's recognizing the strengths of the individual, recognizing their dreams, recognizing what they would want to pursue in their life, whether it is careers, their personal front, and then whether it's male or female, it does not matter. But appreciating their, their interest and allowing them to pursue and maybe creating an environment where everybody would be able to pursue their dreams. Now, what would come to your mind is, yes, maybe I wanted to do something, but there are many limitations. There would have been some stereotypes. All of us come from at least most of us, from a generation when, by tradition, by culture, by basic know-hows of life, there were certain things which probably only boys went in for, girls went in for this kind of education. But today it's not that way. So all of us can really, go ahead into different fields. And that is one step when, over the years, the gender equality, the whole concept of gender equality has matured, and today it's into a very different, it's a very different tomorrow. Now, if you connect it to that sustainable tomorrow, what is sustainable? Today, everybody is talking about global warming, climate change, and if you really visit the website of the United Nations, or you visit the website which is talking about the theme for today's International Women's Day, they are talking about how women could become leaders or front runners in bringing about some changes in this whole issue of global warming or climate change that we see. And why are they looking at women to become these front runners? I think, this is my perspective, so I would just like to share my perspective on this matter. And I think it's because if you go back to that simple phrase that we have been hearing, you educate a boy, you educate an individual. But if you educate a girl, you probably educate a family and then a community. So if you can bring in, and if women are now educated to think in this angle and look at the global issues, and where does it come from? The simple daily habits of the ways we live, the simple, maybe the health, the lifestyle that we live, the health awareness that we have. And if a woman could start taking cognizance of all of these factors and how they are going to be affecting society at large, how it affects, the general public at large, and then you start educating, I think that's how the contribution will go. Even if you Google it out and see women in climate change or women in global warming issue, you'll find 15-20 names. So there are many leading personalities, senior women, young girls who are propagating this cause. So I think it's the thought process which goes that if we can start from the unit of family, you start from your society, you start from your community, that is how women will be able to contribute to this overall changing scenario of, the sustainable tomorrow that we are looking for. Because ultimately we are all worried about what the next generations are going to do. What have we left behind? While the few years looked at development and so many things, we know that there were a lot of things which have been undone, and we need to correct things so that the future generations will still have a decent world to live in. So I think that was about the topic, and then Sir said that I should share something about my journey. So, I was born and brought up in Mumbai. I studied pharmacy at Bombay College of Pharmacy, and in my time there were just about 3 colleges in the whole of Mumbai University, and few of us wanted to go abroad for masters, but I decided I would stay back and do my masters here. And at that time I also decided that I wanted to be a teacher. So I think doing up to masters was not a great deal because people went in to do masters. But I would share experiences when it came to doing a PhD. Pursuing a PhD, I completed my masters in '94. So at that time, pursuing a PhD was not very easy. There were not too many options available, and competition was then always comparing as to who would really maybe complete it or do it. And then, as women, all of us know, you have two different. I would say it's like a coin. No, you have two different sides of the coin, where family also wants that probably you need to settle down, and then they felt if you do a PhD, then where do you go and settle down and what happens? So striking that balance was difficult. Getting opportunities to do PhD was difficult because if I share my example, I got married, had my son, and then I was still looking for PhD. So at interviews, I wouldn't name the institutes, but then the question was, even if you passed the written test and even if you qualified in the interview, there was that but, you have a family and you have a kid, so how will you manage? So I think these were certain challenging questions. It can happen to any one of us. And it could have been, I could have taken a back seat and said like, okay, fine, but I think a very important a factor is to have that environment around you who will support you. So what is required is the passion that you have to do something which will push you forward to really do it in life. So I think it was that passion which was communicated by the way I wanted to do it, communicated to my family. And I should say, for women, though we may say that gender equality and we talk of all things, but if you do not have people in your family, I would specify, at least in my family, if it was not for my father and not for my husband, probably I wouldn't be where I am today. So you do need to have that support, but then you need to convince them, and it is at the cost of ensuring that your family front does not suffer. So how do you give them that confidence? So it's that balance. And I think the only thing that matters there is once you are dedicated and you have that passion, I'm sure each and every one has that inner strength that will definitely push you forward. And believe it or not, whoever sees and values that passion in you will give you every opportunity to go ahead in life and gain what you want to do. All of you are already professional doctors. I think all of you are postgraduates. Many of you are already practicing, and I believe there are students who are pursuing their post-graduation. So you are already at a much higher level than many of the other, I would say, girls or women who are there around. You are already at a higher ladder. So how are you going to make that impact? I think what we do at our level today is more of trying to communicate this amount of the passionate and the passion, the dedication, the sincerity, the loyalty that you will communicate, which the younger generation will look at and get inspired. We need people who will, there are several points when it can be a breaking situation when you don't know whether, I said, for us, for women, two paths, so whether you should go left or you go right. And if it's a coin, whether it's heads or tails, you don't know. You can't throw a choice because one or the other will suffer. So that balance is something which comes from the inner strength and coming from convincing people around you. For that, what I feel the most important thing is getting out of your comfort zone. If you don't try to stretch yourself and move out of that comfort zone, then nothing can be achieved. My desires will remain desires. My passion is only for me to see, and whatever dreams I have will remain dreams. So I think moving out of the comfort zone is step number one that all of us should be. And what's the comfort zone? It's different for everyone. There's nothing like, it's not any layer which is defined. I need to define and understand what is my comfort zone. I need to define what is the next step that I can take. Anything outside your comfort zone is a challenge. So if you're willing to accept that challenge, and it could be a different challenge for every single person. There is nothing which is like, a common thing to everybody. Everybody's challenges are unique. Everybody's challenges are different. Everybody's approach to the same challenge will be different. So it's not something which you can, go by. It's not something which is going to be written in the textbook. It's nothing which is written in the textbook that I can go and refer to it and see how to tackle this problem. You may get, I would say, you will get some references, you will get to know about what other people did, but working out your own solution is your own solution, because all the people around you, the environment around you is your own environment. You need to build that environment, and I'm sure once you do that, the rest of the family automatically understands, and the support that you get is definitely going to be tremendous. So it's nothing, it's not rocket science. There are several people, so many women leaders who have done far, far better and yet achieved everything. So what is it that makes them different? What was it that made them different? No amount of qualifications, degrees or anything will bring about that change. That was something to get into a professional ladder, to get into some kind of, a position. But beyond that, making your mark is by your own instinct, your own individual, desire, and of course, the willingness to take up those small little challenges that will come each day. Like, sir asked me saying that you travel from Borivali. I travel from Borivali, many of you are there. We travel every day. And there are so many people, we end up spending around 4 hours in a day traveling. But then that traveling, you could make use of it for a different time. Use that time for something else to cover up which you couldn't probably do, and feel that, nothing. The best thing is take a nap, which probably you will save that time to do something else at home. But these are small things which, if I am convinced, but if I keep cribbing to myself and saying I have to travel 2 hours every day, and then if I have to travel 2 hours every day, by the time I come here, I am going to be mentally stressed out and I will never be able to do it. So I have decided to travel. If I have decided to travel, it's my, it's my responsibility to use that time, or to make, make good use of it. It's not out of compulsion. There may be reasons. At some point, you are going to be out of compulsion, you are doing something. So then you need to understand where you want to move out and go into that place where you are doing it because you like doing something. And remember, once you like doing something, and if you're interested in it, and if that is what makes you feel good about everything, then all the other physical efforts that you have to take, will become very, very, they will become daily routine work, which is something which is not going to be affecting you. So I feel it's very important. So what do we as women, or what would we, even all of you, many of you are already in very respectable senior positions. So what should we do? What is our role going to be on this day when we propagate? How do we look at the younger generation and convince them? Or do we go back and talk to them and say, oh no, it's like, it's such a do we present that kind of a picture? Or do we present to them the positive side of everything that you see? So I think that's very important. How we go back and present things to the younger generation. How we are going to convince them and tell them that, yes, there is a lot more out for you to go and explore. Support them. The biases that we have in our own minds, I would put it as the if and the but that comes to our mind for everything. It may just happen that you come to the institute and there is someone comes and says, okay, you have to do this today. And then you say, no, but I have a lecture, and no, but I have this and if. So the moment you are able to remove those ifs and buts and accept that challenge, I think everything becomes very, very simple. So that is the only thing which will keep you going, which will help you explore, and while you do that, you will start learning many new things. So what more would I share? I think that is what's the most important thing each one of you should be looking at and should be aiming for, because we look at, to me as an individual, anyone in the medical profession is someone who I really look up to, because the very fact that you have taken up this particular profession is of great service. So once again, my respects to all of you for the wonderful work that you do, and I'm sure that you will definitely become role models to many others in the community around you, all across this entire district. Another thing is, of course, we are all working in this area. So probably a lot more opportunity when we can bring about some small changes in the people, the local rural population that we meet, and maybe inspire them to do something better. So I think that is what we should look forward to our whole purpose of why we celebrate, this Women's Day. Every other day is also a Women's Day, but I think on this special day, there's something that we take home from this message. How can I make that small little difference? I don't have to make a difference to the entire world, but maybe to my family, and then I could do it to my neighbors, and then create that environment, create that circle. So step out of your comfort zones and you'll see the wonders that are there out for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inspiring story. You are the live example of Mulgi Shikli Pragati Zali. So thank you for that.
I think all of you are live examples of that.
Ma'am had taken one incident where her father and her husband helped her grow and supported her. So she did full justice to the main topic that we are talking about, that is gender equality today for a sustainable tomorrow. And I'm sure that 175 women that who are working in this hospital and everybody who's present here also are backed up by their brothers, by their fathers, by their in-laws, by their whatnot, cousins, and everybody. So even though it's Women's Day, BSJ sir was just talking to me in the morning that hamara kya. So don't feel that we will leave you behind. We are actually grateful that you are supporting us so that we can grow. So yeah, in today's generation, the women are going to be shoulder to shoulder to you and help you grow for a sustainable future and a sustainable tomorrow. So thank you to all the men also for being there for us. And speaking about men, we cannot forget MKP sir, and we definitely want to have some kind of guidance from his side and share his 2 cents. So I will request MKP sir to please come on the dais.
Fantastic, Dr. Savita. Fantastic. Even I have learned many a time we read for so many things, and you are really live example of positivity. I know, I'm sure that female, when she travels through this journey at administrative highest post, managing home, managing travel, and lot of depressive faces also around. क्यों कर रही है, क्या करके मिलेगा, सब कुछ है अभी तेरे पास. इस सब के बीच में से when you come up to this point, I feel justified, Sunita madam, your decision of inviting madam. I feel she needs standing ovation for her achievement in her life. And I see tremendous potential in all these principles. Each of you have this power. Each of you. And I want you to examine yourself. Take a small break. When she was talking, I was looking inside me. When I'm already talking of equality, let me clarify this, that this is just some biological division. Within me there is a woman. Within every woman there is a man. Without that there is no completion. And that's why there is beautiful books, madam, we have given you, called Life and Living. Any poster anyone can show. This book, beautiful. This sir was very, when anyone met sir or even whatever I heard about him, he was a very strong, disciplined, iron-willed man on one side. This is the book where you see his femininity, his artistic ability, his ability to balance. And without this female within sir, it was impossible for him to balance his practice. Are you with me? What I'm saying? हर पुरुष के अंदर एक स्त्री रहती है, वो उसने अगर जागरूक नहीं रखी तो वो कभी भी पूरा नहीं होता है. And same is for a female. Without that man, she will not be complete. But very beautiful gift female has, and that no one can take from them is motherhood. The instinct with which she is born. She is not just mother of her own child. She is mother of universe. Wherever she goes with this instinct. And I can see that in her, that she travels with that feeling that when I go back home, what touched me most? What I am taking for my next generation. घर में कैसे जाती हूँ? If I go tired, exhausted, and we did it. We did it in initial days. When I went home, we were tired and exhausted and so hard working that my children said, हमें डॉक्टर नहीं बनना है. Are you getting what I'm saying? I have learned a lot what you are saying. Sometime हम अपने फैमिली मेंबर को पंचिंग बॉक्स बनाते, बाहर अपन अचीव बहुत करते, लेकिन घर आके बोलते अरे ये सरपट हुआ, ये हुआ. घर आके क्या करते हैं? नेगेटिविटी का लोड बाहर लगते. Can we go home more smiling, resolving ourselves? And telling our next generation that world is wonderful outside, the struggle is there, the challenges are there. And I think this is the most positive lesson I have taken. I want all of you to reflect back. Find out which one challenge which you would like to overcome. And any one of you have any question, madam, I would like you to come here. Vipin sir, आप भी आइए. Sunita madam and Shama madam, आप भी आइए. They all are also, I know their journey. They all, both of them deserves applaud. HOD of their department, I know. HOD is not a simple work, which because his next line is principal's line. Vipin sir is always ready to empty his chair. On behalf of him, I always say, and you all are Dhawale. Okay? This institute is never ever going to be that gender biased. एक बार मेरे लिए आप बहुत सारे लोग आप लोग होंगे, please get up, come here. She was a student, she was mother, she was doctor. We need to respect you. Applaud her for what she is doing. A brilliant work, brilliant work. Lord of, you have become role model to next generation. Overcome all the challenges. Overcome all the challenges and doing what you want to do. As a student, she got permission to come study. Mother-in-law, family, everyone, she has done whatever. I said, क्या ट्रिक है? इतने लोगों को तो साथ में कैसे ले सकी? And complete her MD. Continue her pursuit as she wanted to be teacher. And many of are doing like this. Many of our staff must have done like that. So it's very important that something we would like to ask her. And ask what you are unable to overcome. Are you with me? And I'm sure you will get answer. So quickly, we don't have much time. Reflect back. Close your eyes, reflect back. What is the challenge you want to overcome as a female, as a woman in this world so that you are equal?
It's like nobody is going to give you opportunity. How you create opportunity, that is more important.
Perfect.
So don't wait
Quick,
for
quick, raise your hand if you want to ask any question. Anyone? नहीं तो मैं डिक्लेयर करूंगा सब लोग. एक मिनट तो रुक. Anyone else?
उसका क्वेश्चन होने तक गिव अ टाइम टू.
हाँ नहीं एक मिनट पहले जरा मुझे चेहरे. बाकी सब प्रिंसिपल ऐसा मैं बोल दूंगा कुछ चैलेंज है ही नहीं आपको. Any challenges you are facing in this world? Go to ask any question. No question. Wow. Thank you, Vipin sir. What an environment. No challenges to her. Anyone? यानी आप लोग सब यहाँ से हॉस्टल में रूम में हंसते हंसते जा रहे हो. आई एम सीइंग दैट बिकॉज व्हाट यू आर.
घर पे फोन
घर पे तो
क्रिबिंग नहीं
घर पे कोई क्रिबिंग नहीं कर रहा है एंड फैमिली मेंबर आर आस्किंग उधर क्या हो रहा है.
एकदम बढ़िया
है ना. सो
बढ़िया बोलने में भी अंदर से आना चाहिए.
हाँ बोल या.
My greatest question always has been like, when do we know like what we are doing is more than what we should do? Because sometimes we tend to do more. Be it emotionally, we flow in emotions, or we are more ambitious and we exploit ourselves. So when do we know that this is the point, like this much I have stretched and this is the point that I should stop for myself, so that there can be a sustainable tomorrow, so that I can retain my qualities and my strengths for tomorrow. Because sometimes we get exhausted and sometimes emotionally and physically. So what is that point that we should have a break and give time for ourselves?
It's open for 3 of them.
मैडम पहले
पहला मैडम.
बाकी के स्टाफ अवेलेबल है. आप रोज नहीं आने वाली है.
I think first of all, I mean, very young in your career, you're already thinking of a break. How much you stretch yourself depends upon what is your goal, what is your target, and if you're aiming for something, we have that. There's a very if a children we say asking for the moon. It depends. It's a perspective question which is based on what is your target. If you have achieved level 1, you're satisfied, take a break. But if your target is level 2, then you'll have to keep stretching further. So that is something which, based on your environment and based on because what you achieve in life, what your ambition would be financial stability, family stability, and maybe your own personal growth to where you want to be. So all those things to come together in life at times is very different. They may not all come together. So at which point you are going to give what priority and then decide. So very often for us women, family may become priority, so you take a break and then you feel that you need to go back. So it's an individual decision, but remember, it should be something which is a very conscious decision. A conscious decision which you should not regret. Because very often, many women have very strong desires to do a lot of things in life, but probably very often family takes the forefront, your career takes a back seat, and then if you are not able to manage the transition, it all depends on you. If the transition to your inner self that, okay, I want to go along with family, and you are convinced about it, it would be excellent. But if you are doing it as, because I have to do this now and give that, it's not going to help you. So that inner feeling or your the emotional drain that you feel because of these two things going on together, I think for all of us women, that's one of the major challenges that you see. So it all depends on the environment that you create, your family, your immediate family, what kind of a support system that you have. So build that support system so that at any point of time, you know when to take that break, when to go back again, how much to stretch yourself, whether you really, so do a reality check on yourself. That's the only thing, because I said this is not something which will be, it's not a one size fits all or one model which is, applicable to all. It's each one's individual decision, and how you propagate the decision to everybody is what everyone else also accepts. Otherwise people also keep feeling, oh, she took a very bad decision. But if you propagate that it was good decision, then nobody will comment about it. Very often we get bogged down with, because what will the others say? That's what, what will the others say? I think that is what really puts us down and puts us into a backseat. So if you're able to overcome that, I think there's no question of looking at, keep changing your targets, look at what more you can achieve. and for the purpose of doing it, for how it will help others. I think that is what we should think about.
Anyone else?
I would like to ask that today's women, they are inclined towards both professionalism and they are also invested in their personal lives. The third thing that we are seeing more often, that now women are becoming passionate about different things as well, like be it activities, be it dance or singing or whatnot. So how do we strike a balance and maintain the equilibrium between the three of them? For the longest period of time, the passion and everything was neglected in the name of profession or family. So now that that is coming up, how do we balance the three of them and maintain the equilibrium?
Yeah, as you said, activities, yes, all of us maybe in our younger days have done a lot of other activities in school time. We probably learned some dance or learned some music, learned some instrument, and then you get into, as you said, so you brought in a third part. You were always looking at only two sides of a coin. Now there's a totally different coin that comes in, and that is where you start living for yourself. I think that part of it is where you're living for yourself more. When equilibrium, I do not know, but to be, if I look at myself, then yes, it is after, for me, my perspective I'm sharing. When I am satisfied that family and career, I have done what is really sufficient, and then I can carve out the time for all the other things which will help me maybe, gain back that mental balance and, all that, where she said, I need that break. So probably that's the kind of break that you're looking for. So, lot of things which happen which we don't find time for because priorities. So what is your priority at that point of time? Your career, family, the kids, and the home front, and so many things will come. So as long as you're able to prioritize, and it's your own conviction that this is my priority, let it not be a forced priority on you. The moment these become forced priorities on me, then I'm not able to give it that 100% commitment that is there. It's going to be like that. I don't know, share example as such. I can share with you my own, what I have gone through. When I was in school days, I learned dance. So I always felt that I should make my daughter learn dance, but then she was never interested in it. And I kept thinking that when she learns dance, I will learn with her again and maybe bring in that thing. But unfortunately, she never learned it. So I said, okay, that's not something, that what you were saying is activity which I probably wanted to engage in. But that doesn't mean that now, so I said, okay, she's into music. So probably if I have to get engaged in something now and keep that, I have to learn music with her. And I should say, the COVID time did give a lot of time, so a lot of other things which you could spend time on. And some of these things will develop based on the kind of communication that you have with, it's nothing at some point of time becomes your individual decision. And if it is individual decision, it's very difficult to sustain. How are you going to, the challenge? I'm not talking of in terms of career and this, but these other things. So getting everybody to buy in your decision and getting everyone on that same page, as you call it, everybody, the same wavelength or whatever we say, that is the art of maybe getting space to do all that you would want to do. But of course, I don't think it's an equilibrium where all the three will come in together. If you heard that a little story about time, money and energy. Do you know that? Should I just?
Yeah.
Time, money and energy. These are three things which you would say is, if you can correlate the three, the time would be for your family, the money is your career, and the energy is all these activities that are there. These three things can never go on together. Maybe at some phase in life, you will have energy, you will have time, but you will not have the money. Okay, you can think back and see. Then comes a phase when you have money, you will have energy, you will have no time. And then comes a third phase when you will have money and you will have time, and then there will be no energy. I mean, it's really a cycle of life which you see. So how to bring that into balance is something which is an art. I think each one of us have to learn. Again, as I said, you can look up to people, how they have done it and what they have done. But somewhere, you'll have to compromise on something. Compromise is necessary, but to your satisfaction. Not to satisfy somebody else always. I mean, that is which will make you feel, it puts you off. So I think work on that, and I'm sure it's a wonderful life to look at all of these things.
Lovely. Thank you very much. It's brilliant. We are coming to closing part, but before closing, we have champions inside us. Dr. Nikita took brilliant decision to come here. I know how many challenges. When she was talking, I was just looking at you. That decision making of coming and staying in campus here is not an ordinary decision. Now, Tejasri, she decided, Sachin to Baba nikal pada. उसने डिसाइड किया साथ में जाना. It's a decision. Woman power. Without that, he is finished. I tell you. And without Nikita's family and support, she is not there. It's a very beautiful balance which you talked about in your talk. Today we are experiencing. In campus, we have champions. Please, today's time, when we say celebrating today's time and day, man and woman, all, please spare time with people who have succeeded. Not everyone is 100% successful. Better than you feel something taking energy. Spend time with them. Spend time with Tejasvi. Spend time with Nikita today. Ask her how she could take this decision. Spend time with Shama madam. Spend time with Sunita madam. And they will be telling you story how they overcome various challenges. Okay? Lovely. Thank you very much. We are coming to close point. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Manoj Patel sir, for hosting this open-ended questions and people could interact. I would like to invite Shama ma'am, HOD of Medicine Department, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dhwani. It was a wonderful afternoon, quite enlightening. I would like to thank Dr. Savita Tauro for sparing her precious time and taking pains to come to us. And what she spoke was really from her heart. And I think one can only speak from heart if one has practiced it thoroughly. And the words really meant what you wanted to convey, really has gone far deep, because that is what probably your life, what you have lived is. I hope it encourages many of our young people out here. I would like to thank Dr. Bipin Jain sir, our principal, for allowing this function to happen. Of course, trustee Dr. Manoj Patel sir, for specially coming here on Tuesday and making this function happen. I would like Keyur, who takes pains to record all this and puts it on digital media. And of course, all of you young doctors, I should say, who took pains to come here and attend this and become a part of this wonderful function that we could have in a small span of time. So thank you all.
Photograph with all possible set.
On the occasion of Women's Day,